Howdy-hee-om, everybody. This is Bryce Dover's, and today we're talking about wrist pain, how to practice without any pain in those hands. Super common to have pain on top of the hand, bottom of the hand, inside, outside, whatever it is, wherever you got that pain. We're going to workshop on ways so that you can practice without any pain at all. Because how on earth can you do the fancy floaty stuff if you can't even do the simple stuff without pain? The whole key to the advanced asana is practicing without pain. So, here we go. All right, adios. All right, dear yogi. So here's the deal. Very often, the most common form of wrist pain when you practice yoga is right here at the very top of your hand, right here on the thumb. I had chronic wrist pain for the first 10 years of practice, and then one day, my teacher, Robert Busnani, out of Houston, Texas, blew my mind, my heart wide open. He said, oh yeah, all you gotta do is engage your wrist flexors more. Well, what he meant by that is you gotta lift your base of your palm off the ground to decompress your wrist to activate the antagonist muscles. What on earth does that mean? Okay, basically, anytime you move, you've got two things happening. When you lift your wrist up, the wrist extensor engages, and the wrist flexor, used to grip, they relax. So every movement you do, one set of muscle contracts and an opposite set relaxes. Okay, those are the two things that are happening. So when you extend the wrist, the extensor is contracting, flexor is relaxing. When I pull my hand down, the wrist flexor contracts and the wrist extensor relaxes. Now, because the majority of the time you're doing your yoga practice, your hands are in extension, you're going to overdevelop that muscle group. You're going to get too good at that. You're going to get so good at it that it starts to cause a problem. Now, unless you are a baker or a massage therapist or a gardener where you're doing lots of gripping and you're strengthening your wrist flexors all day, if your only form of exercise and movement is yoga, it's very easy to overdevelop these extensors and get pain at the very top of the hand or at the thumb. Now, my friends, if you grip a lot and you're having pain at the very bottom of your wrist, that's more likely that you are too good at flexion and you could stand to get a little bit stronger with extension. Now, here's the beautifully brilliant and frustrating thing all at the exact same time. Everything that we do comes with a cost and a payoff. To quote my dear mentor, June Miller, who's provided this lovely space for us, everything comes with a cost and a payoff. There's something that we're receiving, that we're getting out of it, that's the payoff, and there's something we're giving up, that's the cost. Now, the cost of getting too strong too quickly is tension. Tension in the muscle with which you're getting too strong, and we're all too strong somewhere. Even washing dishes, you're getting too strong somewhere. If you do lots of arm balances, you're getting too strong in those extensors in relation to your flexors. And it's a matter of time until you start getting some pain at the very top of the hand. So in yoga and Ayurveda, we have a common phrase. We say like increases like, but the opposite creates balance. What does that mean? Well, like increases like. If I keep doing the same thing that's causing me pain at the top of the hand, I'm going to increase. Like will increase like. I'm going to increase that problem. So the opposite creates balance. Strengthening the opposite muscle, strengthening the antagonist. Because again, every movement we do, one set of muscle contracts and the opposite set relaxes. So once we've deduced where the pain is, then it's a matter of doing the exact opposite of the inducer of the pain, if that makes sense. So if this is causing the pain, we need to get really good at this. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, Bryce, how on earth am I going to do arm balances and chaturangas like this? Well, you won't, my friend. I mean, some people can. I'm not one of them. What is the solution for most of us is beginning to lift the very base of the palm off the ground and forcing the weight into the knuckles of the hand and the fingertips to initiate the movement into flexion. Now, this can be invisible. You can still keep the flesh of the hand on the floor, but you're moving in the direction of completely lifting the palm. This is going to look in an extreme like this, lifting up and down on the hand when you're on your hands and knees, say in tabletop pose. Gradually strengthening your ability to lighten the load on the palm of the hand to initiate flexion. This is for people who have pain at the very top of the hand. Now, if you're one of the people that has more of your pain at the bottom of the hand, it's going to be the opposite direction. We need to strengthen the extensors. So for those people, it's about actually lifting the whole front of the hand off the floor and balancing on the base of the palm. Now to back up, to reinforce one of the things I started with, the whole key to practicing and healing and developing an advanced movement is finding a range of movement in which there is zero pain. See, that bird agrees. They're saying, yeah, listen to that guy, what he said. So, this is where the theory is. Now, it's time to practice. All right, my yogi, begin by coming onto your hands and knees. Again, if you have pain at the top of the hand, first exercise is for you. Grip with the fingertips, keep the knuckles on the ground, and begin by lifting the palms up and down. Now, I'm going at an extreme. You don't have to make it this high. In fact, I highly recommend you don't. I recommend you make it much smaller. More like this, where the flesh of my hand is still maintaining contact, but I'm feeling that I'm pushing the majority of the weight into the top of the hand. I'm just lightening the palm. This is the first place to begin. And you build up your reps here, and gradually you will start to feel these flexors start to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And gradually you can lift a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, and maybe not. You get to choose. Now, if you're one of the people with pain at the bottom of the hand, we want to go for the opposite direction. Stay on your knees, keep the shoulders more or less where they are, but you bend the elbows, squeeze the elbows in, and you lift the whole front of the hand up and down off the floor. Now, this is the most gentle way to begin playing with these two opposing directions and integrating this into your asana practice. As you get stronger, you can start to bear more weight. If you say, Bryce, I don't have pain in either of those directions, I say, great, my friend. Even better, stay that way and develop your ability to shift back and forth. Now, as you heal, the tendency is that you will get too good at the movement where there was once weakness. So, for example, if your pain is right here and you go through a chapter of, say, several months of lifting your palms, and you will eventually get so good at this that next thing you know, you're the person with pain at the bottom of the hand, which is why I'm doing this video, so that you have the tool to address that injury as it arises, because that would be the cost of getting too strong in that particular direction. Because today's medicine is tomorrow's poison, and today's poison is tomorrow's medicine. So the very thing that takes away your pain today, the very exercise that takes away your pain today, might be the very thing that is causing you pain in the future. And the very thing that is causing you relief right now will cause you pain in the future. And the very thing that is causing you pain right now might be the very thing that brings you relief in the future. And so the only way to know is by staying present. So this is the first exercise. As you're ready to bear more weight, the next progression is in a modified plank with knees behind the hips. And again, you apply the same concept here. Lifting in whichever direction brings you relief, eventually being able to cultivate both directions. Eventually that will become too easy, and the next step is full on in plank itself. Now, the more weight that you bear, the more difficult it's going to be, and the smaller the movement is going to be. But eventually you can integrate the same movement into every arm balance you've ever done, including chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, and even more difficult arm balances, such as bakasana, handstand. Now, this is one place to play. You got to make it invisible, make it doable, and you will gradually progress. But the key is to make it painless. So, after Robert Bustani blew my mind, I went through a period of 9 months relearning how to do all my arm balances with no weight in the palm. And after 9 months, I was on my way to a workshop to teach a workshop all weekend long, and I just started getting this pain in my elbow. And I said, what am I going to do? I got to demonstrate all weekend. And I get to the workshop, and one guy at that workshop had the exact same problem. And in that moment, alegria, realization, epiphany. Ah, you and me, buddy. We're going to do all our arm balances all weekend long, like this. It was just in the moment that I realized, the opposite is what creates balance. So then I had a whole other chunk of time where I had to relearn how to do all my arm balances with all the weight in the palm. Because after 9 months, all the pain at the top of the hand completely went away. So I started doing all these arm balances with all the weight in the front of the hand. And then I got too good at that, I got too strong at that. The cost was that those flexors got way too strong and I started getting this elbow pain. Okay, so then I had to go in the opposite direction once again. The very thing that was causing me pain eventually became the very thing that would take away pain in a different place. Now, when I do my practice just in a single vinyasa, I will be shifting constantly between those two extreme directions because balance is not a destination. It is a moving continuum. And it just boils down to being present to what is the current state of imbalance, where am I out of balance, and what is going to bring me into balance right now. Okay? Because balance is not a destination, because it's not fixed, that's why a lot of people run into trouble with an expectation that, oh, if I just do this one thing, then it's going to fix all my problems. It's like, no, 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 no. Everything comes with a cost and a payoff. And especially when it comes to the body, it acts on certain rules. Antagonist, protagonist. With every movement, something contracts and something relaxes. Your pain is a red flag that something is out of alignment, that something is out of balance. Rather than getting upset with your body betraying you, which it hasn't betrayed you, the only thing that has betrayed you is yourself and your lack of awareness of how the body works. Our wound is the brokenness is what allows the light to shine through and for awareness to be cultivated. Whether that's physical healing or emotional healing or spiritual healing. Wherever there's pain, wherever there's suffering, that's grabbing our attention because it's showing us that something needs attention, something needs our presence. These are simple tools to bring ourselves back into balance, you guys. Now, balance, as the tissues of the body come closer to balance, things will go out of balance faster, which is the tricky part. That's why, in my practice, in a single vinyasa, I will be shifting forward and back on my hands because I can feel very deeply when things are very minutely going out of balance, and I can correct it. The pain, the tension in my body is an indicator that something is out of balance and I need to strengthen the opposite area. That is basically, this whole video series is about. You're going to hear me talk about this stuff a lot. So, I hope this is helpful. Please practice, enjoy, stay tuned. for more yoga therapy videos. Hope you have a wonderful day. I know I am. Very grateful. Sending you my love. All the best. Well wishes. Reach out anytime if there's ever anything I can do to support you. Friendly reminder, every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Central, Oklahoma, Texas, 11 a.m. New York, Virgin Islands, 4 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Central Europe, 6 p.m. Eastern Europe. Now there's online therapeutic vinyasa flow practice. Tune in live. Ask your questions. I can workshop with you right there and then. For only $10, you guys. If you want to save money, I offer monthly unlimited and annual unlimited. Those guys, the unlimited guys, they get access to the pre-recorded archive of all the different sequences, and every single class is a unique sequence based on the people who show up. It's my offering for you. Please like this video, give it a share on your social medias if this is helpful, if you enjoy it. Send me a comment, send me some questions, either on the video or reach out via email or Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'm here, I'm at your service. I love my life and I love this work. And hope you have a beautiful day. Sending you so much love from the beautiful Virgin Islands. Harihi Om.